a big day for the Cowboys at Heinz Field. I'm Barry Trammell along with OSU writer Scott Wright. We are in Pittsburgh. We're on Saturday. OSU routs Pitt 59-21. And Scott, what a huge day for that Oklahoma State offense.
It absolutely was. They were on point from the beginning. Mason Rudolph threw for 423 yards in the first half alone. Almost got to 500 before they just didn't need him anymore and sent him to the sidelines. Jalen McCleskey became a huge weapon over the middle. Pitt tried to take James Washington out of the game a little bit, and we're shading some safeties over to his side. Opened up the middle for McCleskey, who had 2 big catches over the middle, 3 touchdowns in all, and over 160 yards. 4 wide receivers go for over 100 yards for Oklahoma State today.
Yeah, it's got to be discouraging for the Panthers. They're down 28-0, and they hadn't even let Washington catch a ball yet. So Justice Hill got things started early with some great runs in that first possession. Mason Rudolph was on point most of the game. And the OSU defense played pretty well, even though they were very thin at linebacker.
Yeah, they really were. They had the injuries lingering from last week. Calvin Bunnage out for the first half because of his suspension from a week ago. Kenneth Edison-Magruder not back yet, not back to full health. So they had to piece things together there a little bit. Those guys played really well, showed their speed, and were able to keep Pitt contained.
Well, let's go to the OSU postgame, see what the Cowboys had to say.
Obviously, we had a good game today, and our players were really focused and did a nice job in preparation. And as a coach, you know, that's so gratifying to see guys get ready to play a game and prepare and execute. Obviously, we were very explosive on offense. Defensively, we stopped the run. Pitt wants to run the ball and control the clock. We stopped the run. In the first half, we were poor at times tackling. We missed 3 or 4 guys on tackles, and it cost us a couple touchdowns. But they rallied and tackled better in the second half. We lost our focus there a little bit this middle second quarter, and then certainly at the end we had a poor snap on a punt. But other than that, it was a good win for us. And we've got a long ways to go. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but I was proud of our team today.
It looked like Mason, his ability to scramble or bounce off tacklers was more than what we'd seen today, and that provided some big plays.
He's worked hard in the off season on a couple things. His footwork on a different style of throws, and then also his ability to protect the ball and move around the pocket. And he made some big plays today at crucial times. And you see the importance of having a quarterback that can make plays. I mean, he made a lot of plays. He got out of his box one time, and when he did, he threw an interception. He did not progress appropriately, and it cost him. He made his mind up prior to the snap based on coverage. They rolled coverage. He didn't stay in his world and threw an interception. So it's an example of what happens when you just don't follow the system that we have in place. But other than that, obviously he was really good. Most of those guys were on offense. I don't know that we had any drops today. I don't think we did. So it was good.
Did you feel like maybe this was as explosive and as efficient, explosive and as efficient as you've been in any game away from home since maybe that public game 6 years ago?
I told the team that they were really good in all 3 phases to start. When I looked down at the Youngstown, it scared me a little bit. Thought maybe I was getting old, and I was like, wow, did we lose? So, yes, and it's guys played good, and they were focused. They started fast. We made key 3rd downs, and they played good. So I would agree.
Mike, you're the first offense in 12 years to have 4 receivers go for more than 100 yards in a game. Can you speak to the depth of that group, especially considering you didn't have Tyron here, and then also just any comment on his situation going forward?
We had a few players this week that lost focus and got out of our world and in our culture, and so when that happens, they can't be with us and play games. And when we get back on Sunday, tomorrow, they'll be with us. But they're healthy and they didn't violate any rules outside of the team. Okay, so you don't need to go search for any of that. It was inside stuff. But as I said earlier, Mason's done a nice job of spreading the ball around. And when we have good skill guys, he's responsible for delegating the ball to the people based on what they give us. And he did a good job of that with the exception of one time. and it cost them the interception. And that's why we can spread it out and get multiple guys catches. We saw some heavy roll and play towards James Washington, and when that happens, you have McCleskey in the middle of the field most of the time.
So Tyron will be back for TCU.
He'll be back. He'll be back tomorrow. Yes.
Anybody else who was missing, they'll be back, or it was Harper?
Madre Harper's not on the team anymore. Brendan Vaughn's not on the team anymore. And Tyra and 13. That's it, right?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. So guys stepped out of our culture a little bit, and so unfortunately I have to make tough decisions. But 13 will be back with us, and we'll play the guys that we have in here.
How do you think your linebackers, makeshift linebackers, held up today?
You know, I thought they did pretty good. There was times, you know, Barry, when you're on the headphones and every time the other team makes a play, you hear everybody complaining about this and that, and I would have to watch the tape, but I thought that they were in proximity and tackled fairly well. The two plays that we really didn't play well on the one bubble, corner, safety, and then down the touchdown, 7 got his head down, missed a play, missed tackle at 94. But for the most part, I thought the linebackers played fairly well. And they were somewhat limited this week, not only in practice, but obviously out here at Bundage, you know, he had to watch the game from the locker room. I think he was watching the game. Somebody said he actually flipped it over to SpongeBob to start a second quarter. So I need to check on that. But knowing Bundage, there's a chance he could have done that. Anyway, I thought they played pretty well.
Mike, did they approach you schematically in the secondary different than they did last year, or was it pretty much a lot of the same looks?
Oh, it's the same stuff. Same defense. You talking about?
But did get Pitt? Was
Pitt
it
schemes?
Yeah,
It's the same stuff. Yeah, a little more crossfire blitz than what we thought they would that they would bring to the table. But for the most part, their structure was the same.
Did you anticipate adjustments, considering you guys, Mason had a big day against them last year?
I'll be honest, and I mean this as humble as possible. I have no clue what people are going to do. And I use the term, we got to stay in our world. That's why we got to stay in our world, because sometimes we get things that we don't expect, like last week. I would have never guessed they would have played us that way. Today, I would have never guessed they'd have played the same as I thought they would play a little more high safety. But one thing I mentioned to the media, I don't know who asked me on at the press conference this last week. It's difficult to change who you are in 2 days. Just like with us. I mean, we're going to run our plays and we're going to do what we do, and hopefully we're more sound and we minimize mistakes. I've not ever coached or been around a team that can say I'm going to change my philosophy or scheme in 2 days. So I don't think that's really possible. And we saw a few different things pressure-wise, but the structure was the same.
You know, Pittsburgh's only a few games removed from
Well, we had one with an AC sprain that just kind of fought through it. I won't tell you who it is, but so he was playing hurt. We're just thin. I mean, you know, in a game like that, when you'd love to play more guys, there's nobody else to go to. So you're playing with the guys that you would hate to get hurt in the fourth quarter of a game like that, but we have no choice because we're just so thin right now.
Overall, how'd you hold up? Gave up, I guess, 2. You gave
Yeah,
up
well,
2
we got
offensive
Calvin,
touchdowns.
and we got Calvin back. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, fine. You know, we couple missed tackles on the perimeter. You know, a couple bubbles. That was the big thing, and then missed a tackle on the score. Got people all over them. You know, they made a play. You know, it's just, we want to play perfect, but we'll accept excellence. That's kind of the goal. So I thought they responded well. Yep, 14 points. And, it's pretty good, you know. And of course, I'm upset about the 14 because I thought that's something we could have done something about. We did.
Yeah, Mike said this is a team that likes to run the ball, and you guys did a pretty good job stopping the run. They didn't really hurt you much running the ball. No,
you know, they have some go-tos that they get everybody on. You know, off the jet, the zone play off the jet and the jet. And I mean, twice we got bodies there. We just it's hard to convince a kid how quick that thing gets on the edge and the leverage that you have to turn it back in. And you practice it 1,000 times, and twice they still got it on us. So that was disappointing because you take that away, and I don't think they got much of anything in the run game. So I was proud of them. Got to do that. Given the chance, you got to be able to do that. And if we do that against this team, I knew would have a chance.
Was it personally significant for you?
Not really, no. I mean, I got family and friends here, so we always want to win. I mean, we always want to play good. Nothing changes. You have to have consistency. If something changes a little bit differently, I think for you, then I think you're going to perform differently, and you want to make sure that you're staying the same process, just like we want our players to do.
I mean, you know, Pittsburgh came out of the tunnel thinking they were going to beat y'all today. So even though you every play you call, you're trying to score a touchdown, right? And then you go 9 for 9. But I mean, obviously you're going to have some setbacks, but to go 9 for 9 on third down and to be as efficient and explosive as you were, is that about as good as it's been for you?
Well, I don't think we've been better than 9 for 9 on third downs, but I think that's such a team statistic, the third downs. You need tough catches in traffic. I mean, we threw a couple curl-outs to press coverage, and Aitman pulled them down. Those are two I remember right off the top of my head. You need protection. You know, they're giving you 3 down. They're moving pieces. So protection, communication, tailbacks. Obviously, the throw's got to be accurate. So Mason was tremendous with how he was able to read the defense and distribute the ball and get it out on time. And so that's a team deal. That's a big statistic, obviously, third downs, and we have to continue to do that on third down to be successful.
Like, where is this performance for Mason with his body of work?
I don't know. I don't sit here and judge it and say it's ranks number 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I'm not sitting here and doing that.
One thing that was kind of...
I mean, it's fun when we get on the same page and I can kind of anticipate what he's going to call before he calls it. Today was one of those days, man. He made a lot of clutch calls for us, especially in the first half. Just it flowed well. I mean, once we got a big completion going, whether it was a tempo play or whatnot, he was on the money, and I thought we executed well. I mean, anybody can draw plays, but you got to execute at the end of the day. And obviously, a lot of our receivers made plays and ran the ball well.
We talk about your wide receiver depth, but I mean it was on full display today. You guys had 4 guys go over 100 yards, first time in 12 years in college football. That's out.
Yeah, James was a little disappointed there in the first half, but that's how those guys are. They're so competitive. They bicker back and forth each other, but it's constructive, criticism. And yeah, you saw it. I mean, they were all over the place. We've got a lot of schemes designed for like slot guys or outside guys, and I thought everyone really clicked today well, and they all did their job. And if we keep doing that, it's going to take us far.
Mason, you were bouncing off the pass rush pretty well, stemming the play. The big one to Aitman is the best example of that.
Yeah.
Is that a new element in your game, you think?
I think making that throw is something I've worked on a little bit, but I thought I've always been able to kind of get out of it. It's whether you can really make it count once you get out of those tackles. So that's something I kind of, tried to, kind of highlight in my off-season work and getting those guys. And we work the scramble drill a lot in practice, but anytime you can work it, when the lights are off, on a Saturday with your guys and say, what are our rules? If you're going deep, you come back short, those type of things. And Marcel made a great play.
For a while, it looked like everybody else was going to get to have a big game. Everybody else was making all the big plays, and then finally, you got in a rhythm and got a bunch. What was going on with the passing game today?
I thought it went really well. It was a lot of fun to watch the other guys, contribute to the team like that, especially Jalen McCleskey. He had a nice day. Dylan Stoner with his first touchdown, and Marcel with showing his run after catch. And that was a lot of fun to watch today.
Mason appeared has added an element to his game that's new, which is able to bounce off the rush. Yep. Even when they get to him, they can't get him down. He extends the play, makes a big pass. Have you seen that development in his game over the years?
Oh, I have. As the years went by, it's almost like a comfortable side of the deal. When he's in the pocket, he's comfortable with everything, and he's in a rhythm. He's able to do things like that.
He's a big old boy. Is he tough to get down?
Well, I haven't had the chance to tackle him, but I'm sure he is for other guys. And we're well equally at receiver. It's not just me; it's all of us. And that was a great example of what I'm talking about today. The one guy we have 4 other guys we can hit at any time.
How did Pittsburgh cover you kind of the same way they did last year? They bring help over?
I feel like they covered me about the same as last year.
We have a lot of older guys on the team.
As Mason went through his progressions, getting missing their other chances to attack at other guys.
Mason's gotten a lot better over the years at kind of ducking around pressure and getting out of the pocket and making throws like the one to Marcel today. What's that like as sort of a receiver? I mean, Marcel, had the mindset where he could come back to the ball there and make that catch. Are you kind of always watching because there might be a time where you have to come back?
For sure, it's a basic scrum drill for us. But to see Mason do things like that, it tells us that he's confident in the pocket, and that's a big props to our line.
We pretty much know everybody.
They just block like that, and it has our quarterback as comfortable as he can be in the pocket and make plays like that.
Compete as well as we can.
Mason score a touchdown every week.
That's the goal. The goal is to have a turnover every week.
Well, turnover's one thing, a touchdown's another. I mean, how sweet is it to have a pick six?
Oh, it's great, man. It started with the D-line, of course. I got to give a shout-out to my D-line. They applying pressure up there. And then my other linebacker, Chad, he made it happen for me. I was just running to the ball.
How thin were you guys today? Missing the injured guys, and then Calvin has to sit out the first half. How tough was that, and how do you guys think you responded?
I mean, we knew we had. I guess everybody had a bigger role, but everybody's prepared. We have some older guys that know what to do, know how to get other guys prepared to play. So everybody just went out there and executed.
Short of linebackers today, how do you feel like everybody sort of banded together and made up for missing so many guys?
I feel like we played great, linebacker side, and just as a whole on defense, I feel like the people that stepped up, and we made plays when needed.
How much does it help when the offense is literally scoring every time they had the ball? You had 7 possessions, 7 touchdowns in the first half.
I mean, it helps out a lot. It's just it's confidence, just getting them back the ball, and they know we know they're gonna take care of it. And if we get turnovers, and it's just gonna be easy. It's gonna be an easy day.
The big play ability of this offense. A lot of big chunk plays, short drives. Does that make it more tiring on you guys? I mean, to have to be right out there after you just came off the field, or are you just glad to have the extra 7 points?
I mean, we joke around about it, tell them to slow down a little bit if we get a 3 and out, and they throw the ball to James in the second play. But I mean, it's fun. We just all want our opportunities to play, and if they keep scoring, we keep winning. So it doesn't matter.